First and foremost, shout out to Jonathan Majors. He's now breaking records in the sense of he has two #1 movies that came out back to back with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and now Creed 3. And then also you got Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors in this movie, both shirtless, looking good as hell. Like at this point, just call me a train stop. If you know, you know. And welcome to my safe haven. Thank you guys so much for joining me and clicking on another review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking me out, let me introduce myself. Hey, how's it going? My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek and I always say the things that I love to talk about has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any combination of the four. So I like to talk superheroes, video games, comic book, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy, animated movies, and of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you think representation matters and you believe representation equals normalization, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Become one of my safe Gaveneers. I believe I'm now 40 subscribers away from hitting 7,500 subscribers. So you can help me out by hitting the subscribe button because I saw that 35% of you guys are watching my videos but aren't subscribed. So all 35% of you, hit that subscribe button so I can continue to grow. But also, whether you're subscribed or not subscribed, do me a favor, hit the like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm of getting this video out there and just my channel out there so more eyes can get on my channel and I can continue to grow like Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know where that reference came from, but it was the first thing that popped into my mind. But anyway, with that said, this month is a busy month. There are major movies coming out every single week this month. So it's gonna be crazy, crazy busy for me and for a lot of content creators. But I'm here to talk about Creed 3, non-spoiler, just came out last week. And obviously Creed 3 is the third installment of the Creed franchise. And I guess the sixth installment in the Rocky franchise. Let me see, wait, Rocky 2, 3, Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa, Creed 1. So the eighth installment in, unless I'm missing a movie, but I'm thinking it's the eighth. Actually, no, I just looked it up. It's the ninth because you were Rocky 1, 2, and 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, then Rocky Balboa, then Creed 1, 2, and now Creed 3. So yeah, the Rocky franchise has been going on for a long time. But with that said, for those of you that might not know, this is actually Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut because he directed this movie. And so let's get into Creed 3. Did Michael B. Jordan do a good job in directing his first movie? Did Creed even deserve a third installment? Let's talk about it. So the synopsis for Creed 3 is, still dominating the boxing world, Adonis Creed is thriving in his career and family life. When Damien, a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy, resurfaces after serving time in jail, he's eager to prove that he deserves his shot in the ring. The face-off between former friends is more than just a fight. To settle the score, Adonis must put his future on the line to battle Damien, a fighter who has nothing to lose. And so with this being the third Creed movie, you obviously have the return of Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed, you have the return of Tessa Thompson, Felicia Rashad, but not making his return in Creed 3 is Sylvester Stallone's Rocky Balboa, and this will actually be the first Creed movie where you aren't seeing Rocky. And I will say, like, at this point in the Creed franchise, like, it does kind of stand alone from the entire Rocky franchise. And yes, there were moments where it would have been nice to see Rocky show up, but also at the same time, considering the story that was going on in this movie, he wasn't really missed, at least for me. And so getting into this movie, like, I really enjoyed Creed 3, and probably, I would say it might be, I have to go back and watch the other two Creed movies. I haven't seen them since they've come out, but based on what I remember, I would probably say Creed 3 is my favorite of the trilogy. And a lot of that has to do with the story and, more importantly, Michael B. Jordan's directing. Like, Michael B. Jordan, for this to be his directorial debut, he definitely studied and probably called Ryan Coogler a lot of times on the phone wondering, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? Because the shots that were in this movie. And I know a lot of people are talking about like the big fight that happens at the end, and Michael B. Jordan, how he talks about how he was influenced by a lot of anime. And as an anime fan, while yes, there were a lot of anime shots taken from like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z that he recreated to put in this boxing movie. And obviously with this being a boxing movie, like the typical standard story for most boxing movies, it's kind of predictable in that sense of like, you know, you have the hero that faces adversity, they have their boxing matches, whatever, but then in the end, they always win. It's a standard boxing movie in that sense, but there was a lot of emotion in this movie. And while yes, like the fights and the way the camera moved in certain ways for a lot of the boxing matches was very anime, it wasn't just the boxing matches that had a lot of interesting shots, but like moments and parallels between Adonis Creed and Damien, played by Jonathan Majors. Like, I was just like, there was certain moments between the two of them, and I was just like, wow, that's like a great shot between the two of them. Like, and there was a lot of that in this movie. And then also, like, with this being Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, like there was a lot of heart between Michael B. Jordan's character, and then even his acting performance, where you think about Adonis Creed being a fighter, and then this movie did a lot of like showing like it's okay for black men to be emotional. And that's a thing that we really have to tear down within the black community a lot of times, where if a black man shows too many feelings or gets vulnerable with another black man, it's like, oh, that is gay. Or you can't, like, even like if you think about the photo shoots that have gone on between Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, where they're like embracing each other, which also happened with Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, where they were embracing each other and people are like, oh, they're trying to emasculate the black man, or why do they have to be all feminine? And it's just like, two black men can't just embrace each other in a hug. Like, this is why y'all so toxic now, because it's okay for black men to hug each other and it not be quote unquote gay. Or I remember a picture that leaked where Will Smith was just kissing his son, his flesh and blood. And people are like, oh, that's suspect. It's like, y'all are just toxic. And also a really strong and important narrative that I appreciated in this movie. Like, you think about the poster and the tagline on the poster, you can't run from the past because it always comes back to bite you, which is also a theme that comes up in The Lion King. And like, I appreciated that narrative coming up in this movie, because it's like, you have to deal with your trauma. In order to adequately and effectively move from your trauma, you have to face it head on, and it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna be uncomfortable, but you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow. Like, you even think about just the human body, right? Like, when a person grows, like your bones are elongating and it's uncomfortable, but you're growing. And, or like you think about when you're going through puberty, especially boys, when they go through that phase of like your voice cracking, and it's weird and it's uncomfortable and you get teased for it, but it's like, you have to go through those moments of uncomfortability. Like I just said, you have to go through those moments of uncomfortability to grow. And you got to see Adonis Creed going through that. You even saw some of that with Tessa Thompson's character. And then also something that I appreciated in this movie, and this is what I love about us black folks, we always will put other people on. So like, there was definitely moments of shouting out Hispanic culture, like a moment where there was a boxer on here showing his whole Hispanic heritage, where he was coming into the ring, and almost like a Dia de los Muertos moment in the ring. And I was like, and that was one of my favorite shots in the movie, and the way they like the camera zoomed in and the smoke, like I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, this movie made me want to go to a boxing match on Showtime. And with that said, because I am talking a lot about the director, but I did have a lot of fun with this movie. But like, Jonathan Majors, of course, you get a movie with Jonathan Majors. I have yet to see a Jonathan Majors performance that I didn't enjoy. And I'm not even just talking about, I'm gonna stay out of the thirsty round. I'm not even gonna get into that because y'all already know. But I'm gonna be like just completely perfectly honest, and not all jokes aside, but like, yeah, Jonathan Majors in this movie, like, he did a great job in just playing a straight up goon, playing a straight up troll in this movie. Like, but then at the same time, you rooted for his character, Damien's character. You understood where this character was coming from. And in many ways, you went back and forth between, you didn't know who to root for. Obviously, the movie is Creed. You know Michael B. Jordan is going to end up on top, but you find yourself wanting both of them to win. And that's the strength in this movie, where it's like you understood both points. And even though his character was the antagonist, he wasn't necessarily the villain of the movie. But with that said, like, it's not authentically me, and it's not the Black Gay Comic Geek channel if I don't thirst over some fine black men at some point. But of course, you think of a boxing movie, of course there's going to be a training montage. And so the moment where you saw the training montage between Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, and them shirtless and running up hills or pushing tires, and Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, like they titties getting bigger and bouncing and the sweat dripping off, I was like, woo! Not even just me, but the whole audience was verbally exhaling during those moments in that movie. And I was just like, good God almighty, great balls of fire. But yes, like this movie was just cathartically awesome. Like the score, like all of it, the heart, the emotion, like I absolutely love this movie. Like I said, it's my favorite in the franchise, and I was surprised because, not to say I'm a big Creed, but I enjoyed the Creed movies. I enjoyed the Rocky movies. And funny enough, I went back, and the only reason I watched the Rocky movies is because I saw Creed. I saw Creed first, the first Creed movie, and then I went back and watched the Rocky movies, and I was like, I'm actually enjoying these. And so I don't know about if Creed 3 is my favorite in the entire like Rocky franchise, but I mean in terms of like Creed, because I would say at this point, especially with Rocky not being in this movie, Creed does stand alone. Like I would like to see maybe Rocky show up again in Creed 4, because I would say like certain moments in this movie where I was like, it kind of didn't make sense for Creed or for Rocky not to at least maybe call him on the phone or something at a certain point. But at this point, I will say like the Creed franchise does stand alone without Rocky Balboa. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I love this movie. And I don't know, I did say Cocaine Bear was my favorite movie of the year so far, but I don't know, Creed, I mean, now that I've seen, I would say right now Scream 6 is my favorite movie of the year, but that's not what we're talking about. So we're going to pretend like I didn't see Scream yet, but that review will be coming. I'm actually going to record that after I edit this and then upload this, and then I'm going to record Scream. But let's pretend I didn't see Scream. I would say Rocky or Creed 3 is my favorite movie of the year so far, and then Cocaine Bear. So now you already know, spoilers. So really it's Scream 6. Did I say Scream 3? I don't know why I said that. Scream 6, Creed, and Cocaine Bear are my top 3 of the year so far. But yeah, with that said, have you guys seen Creed 3? What did you think about it? Is your favorite of the franchise? Is your least favorite of the franchise? Maybe it's in the middle for you. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out with the channel. If this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.